Hi everyone! In today's video we're going to be talking about Russia, Gotham and various other things. So first of all, we're going to be talking about the Russian spy poisoning. Now, the UK government, and most of the other governments around the world, seem to think beyond any doubt that it was Russia who was the cause of these murders. Well, actually, technically, they're not murders, but they're attempted murders, because I think the guy and his daughter who was poisoned, they survived. Well, I think the bloke definitely did, but I'm not sure about the daughter. But, I beg to differ, though, because it could have been, the American government who was responsible for these poisonings. It could be to do with the FBI or the CIA, or both. So, basically, we had another incident where this Russian bloke died in the UK, but we don't know if that's connected to the poisoning or not, because he could have just died of old age. But is, Putin responsible for the poisoning, or has people in his own country gone behind his back and done this without his knowledge? So, Theresa May is being a bitch as usual, and quite frankly, I'd rather have Vladimir Putin leading the UK rather than Theresa May. I would rather have Natalia Poklonskaya ruling over the UK, but there we go. So, basically, Theresa May and the UK government, they've basically deported the Russian ambassadors from the UK and sent them back to Russia. And basically, in retaliation of that, the Russian government has sent our ambassadors back to the UK. So that's fair enough, to be honest. We did it to their ambassadors, so why can't they do it to ours? And if Theresa May is not careful, she's going to make us go into an unnecessary war with Russia, when really we should be being friends with Russia, because the UK wants to be friends with as many countries around the world as humanly possible, because then there's chance of more long-lasting peace, and that's what Jeremy Corbyn wants. I mean, don't get me wrong, Jeremy Corbyn has his flaws, but he makes more sense than Theresa May does. Because, I'm not sure I agree with Jeremy Corbyn about the whole NATO situation, because he wants to leave the UK defenceless, but I don't. I want us to keep our weapons. Because, if other countries in the world are allowed weapons of mass destruction, then why can't the UK have them as well? If every single country in the world suddenly deactivated their weapons of mass destruction, then I would say, okay, it's okay for the UK to do that now. Anyway, there we go. I mean, Theresa May is saying loads of bullshit, united we stand against Russia, when she should be saying, united we stand with Russia. I mean, we are the United Kingdom. Vladimir Putin is part of the United Russia Party. That word united, that's key. Because all people around the world should be united in peace. We should not be divided. Because division leads to war. And that Donald Trump, him building that wall between the USA and Mexico, that's division. And that could possibly lead the USA to a war with Mexico. So basically, right, we're going to move on to this now, a Charbucks video. We may go back to Russia later in the video. I'm not sure if you'll be able to hear the audio of this clip, but I'll just play it anyway.
Well, hey, I didn't know the Knights had hot cat girls, too. Yes.
Actually, I'm a boy.
Yes!
So, you saw the nuke there. Well, that links with Russia. Because they had nukes during the Cold War. But basically, apparently they've deactivated their nukes, but is that necessarily true though? Because they might have some secret ones hidden away somewhere. But there we go. I mean, they may have deactivated the ones that we know about, but like I said, they could have like some secret bunkers with like extra ones that we don't know about. Even though this is meant for humour, this video right here, the fact that the woman said, "Actually, I'm a boy," and then Plankton went, "Yes!" Like, that's, that represents, like, the Illuminati and Freemasons, like, trying to push, like, the transgender agenda. One of our teammates, Alex Langland, he reckons that Vision wearing his clothes in Captain America Civil War, that represents transgender stuff. But personally, I don't see it myself, because Vision is a man, and he's wearing man's clothes. So how is that transgender? But, there we go. I mean, some would argue that Vision's not a man, he's actually an android, but, I mean, I would say he's an android in a male form. Like, because he looks more like a man than he does a woman. And he's played by a male actor as well. I mean, remember, Vision came from Jarvis. Now, yes, Jarvis is a computer that helps Iron Man out, but before that, Jarvis was a real person, like the butler that is in Agent Carter. Now that butler was a man, wasn't he? So did you see my point? Like, even this one transgender character in Hollyoaks called Mrs. St. Clair, that's got to do with them pushing their agendas as well. Even like Mrs. Doubtfire, the Robin Williams film could be linked to this. Like, because you have Mrs. St. Clair, but you also have Mrs. Doubtfire. So it could be linked with Robin Williams' death. We don't really know. I mean, his suicide could have been faked, and the Illuminati and Freemasons could have actually murdered him. But, even this name Salazar is usually associated with villains in popular culture. So we have, like, this one Salazar villain out of Resident Evil 4. The 4 for the 4th age that we're in at the moment. And then, we have this Salazar character out of Pirates of the Caribbean. But we also have this Salazar character out of Harry Potter as well. The Snake of Slytherin. See, just like the snake, the serpent in the Garden of Eden. So, now, Illuminati and Freemasons, they make you feel sorry for evil people, like Barbara Keane out of Gotham. And even Jason Wilson out of Star Wars: The Old Republic. Because these two characters are evil, there's no doubt about that. Like, she's a Sith apprentice. Like, she was okay with her master killing her own parents. Whereas Barbara, she actually killed her own parents. So do you see how this is some sort of sex kitten type thing? Where this character has blonde hair like Alice in Wonderland and Taylor Swift. So, see, Léa Seydoux has blonde hair, and so does Marilyn Monroe. See how they both represent the Rev 12 woman? See how they both represent Alice in Wonderland? See how they're both wearing white for heaven, and they're both wearing ballerina dresses, and they're both barefoot. The reason that there's so many similarities between these two pictures and between these two women is because they represent the same person. See the blue and the red there? The blue on the floor, the red painted toenails. You also see the red and the blue there. See? It's got to do with blending the iron with the clay. Blending the good with the evil. Because the blue is the good of Jesus and the red is the evil of Satan. She has a light side and a dark side, Jason does. She has a blue side and a red side. She started off good, but she was seduced by the dark side of the Force. Just like Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader. Vader, the V for the Fifth Age. But in this Star Wars The Old Republic game, it all depends what decisions you make. You may choose not to kill her parents. And if you choose that decision, then she doesn't even turn to the dark side at all. So, what you do in games, very rarely does it translate to real life. Like, in GTA, you can go around murdering people. Now, you wouldn't do that in real life, would you? But, I mean, games like GTA, Grand Theft Auto, it's all to push, like, these satanic agendas of violence spreading by brainwashing you with violence. GTA 5 is the latest game. Again, the 5 for the Fifth Age. The fifth age of the Bible, when the fifth angel known as Satan shows up. See the W right there? Two V's next to each other for the Fifth Age. See the sex kitten characters in this Blend S show. See the Alice in Wonderland character with the blonde hair? Wearing blue and white, just like Alice in Wonderland. So, basically, in this show, the main character is a sadist in the first episode. Like, she's really nasty to the customers. But in the second episode, they still think she's a sadist, but she's not, though, because she ends up being, like, really nice to the customers in the second episode and smiling at them. In the latest episode of Gotham, they're after this guy called Penn, and he ends up being in a place where adults are dressed as babies. Now, how did they find him there? That's the question. For some reason, Zaz and the black guy don't kill Gordon when the police take off. It seems like the rest of the police are useless, because Gordon's the only police officer remaining on the scene.